When we talk about AI, we often think about the future. But in the newsroom, the future is already here. Artificial intelligence is writing articles, it's analyzing massive data sets, and it's completely reshaping how news gets to you. This isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's happening right now, and it brings up a huge, critical question for all of us.
So which is it? Is this new technology going to be the thing that finally breaks journalism? Or could it be the most powerful tool journalists have ever had? I mean, this debate is splitting the entire industry. You've got crippling fear on one side and this incredible, boundless optimism on the other. To really get a handle on it, let's first make sure we're all on the same page about what we're even talking about.
Okay, so when we say AI in journalism, we're not talking about some single robot reporter walking around. Think of it more like a whole suite of tools. These are algorithms and machine learning models that can help with, or in some cases, completely take over parts of making the news. And really, it's that word automate that has so many people worried. All right, let's dive into the case against AI, because the journalism community has some very real, very legitimate fears. And these aren't just hypotheticals. These are potential downsides that could fundamentally change the profession, and maybe not for the better. The first and most obvious fear is, of course, jobs. I mean, AI is already fantastic at handling routine, data-driven stories. The Associated Press, for example, has been using AI for years to pump out thousands of corporate earnings reports. So the real worry here is that those essential entry-level reporting jobs, the ones where new journalists cut their teeth, might just disappear. But this goes way deeper than just job numbers. Great journalism isn't just a list of facts, right? It's about the human story. It needs empathy, it needs to understand cultural nuance, and it needs the moral judgment to know how to tell a story sensitively. And AI doesn't have any lived experience. It can't feel the tension in a room or convey the raw emotion in someone's voice. The risk? You end up with news that's bland, generic, and totally soulless. And this is a big one. You've probably heard that AI models can hallucinate. That's just a nice clinical-sounding way of saying they make stuff up. They can invent quotes out of thin air, cite sources that don't exist, or even create entire events that never ever happened. In a world where trust in the media is already hanging by a thread, a technology that can confidently lie to you is, frankly, terrifying. Which brings us to maybe the thorniest problem of all, accountability. Look, if a human reporter gets something wrong, you know who's responsible. But if an AI-generated article is defamatory or just dangerously wrong, who takes the fall? Is it the editor who pushed publish? Is it the news organization? Or is it the tech company that built the AI in the first place? We just don't have clear answers, and that creates a massive ethical minefield. Okay, those are some pretty heavy concerns, and we can't just brush them aside. But what if that's only one side of the coin? What if for every single one of those fears, there's an equally powerful argument for how AI could actually be the best thing to happen to journalism in decades? Just think for a second about all the grunt work that goes into journalism. Transcribing a 2-hour interview? Ugh. Sifting through a messy spreadsheet with thousands of lines of data? Trying to summarize a 200-page government report? This is the stuff that eats up a reporter's entire day. Well, AI is brilliant at this. It can do it in minutes, not hours. And that frees up journalists to do what they're actually meant to do. Get out there, find stories, talk to people, and hold power to account. But it's not just about saving time. AI can literally supercharge investigative journalism. Think about some of the biggest bombshell stories of the last decade, like the Panama Papers. That involved analyzing millions of documents. That is physically impossible for a team of humans. But for an AI, it's the work of seconds to scan everything, connect the dots, and flag irregularities that no human eye would ever catch. And here's the beautiful irony. We just talked about how AI can create misinformation. Well, it can also be one of our most powerful weapons against it. AI tools can instantly check a politician's statement against a database of facts. They're getting incredibly good at spotting sophisticated deepfake videos, and they can identify those coordinated bot networks that spread propaganda on social media. So AI can be a shield just as much as it can be a sword. So we've got these two totally opposite views, AI as the job-killing menace versus AI as the journalist's super assistant. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if this whole human versus machine thing is a false battle? What if the future isn't about replacement at all, but about collaboration? This chart lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have what AI is amazing at: pure speed, massive scale, recognizing patterns in data, and doing repetitive tasks over and over without getting bored. But on the other side, you have what is, for now, uniquely human: real ethical judgment, empathy, accountability, critical thinking, and actually going out into the field to report. You see, these aren't competing skill sets. They're complementary. The strengths of one perfectly patch the weaknesses of the other. What this really means is that the job of a journalist is evolving. It's shifting away from just gathering info and typing it up. The journalist of the future is much more of a strategist. They're the verifier, making sure the AI's work is accurate. They're the interpreter, adding crucial context and meaning. And they're the story architect, weaving all these digital threads into a powerful human narrative. But look, this amazing collaborative future, it's not just going to happen on its own. If we want this partnership to work, we can't just stumble into it. We need a new set of rules, a clear, ethical framework to guide us through the age of AI in news. Rule number 1, and this is the big one: transparency is completely non-negotiable. The audience, you, have an absolute right to know if what you're reading or watching was made with AI. Newsrooms have to be crystal clear about when they use it, how it was used, and what level of human oversight was involved. Without that honesty, any trust we have left will just evaporate. And rule number 2 is just as crucial. Editorial control has to stay human, period. An AI can suggest things, it can draft an article, it can analyze data, but it cannot make the final call. The ultimate decision on what gets published, the final check of the facts, and the moral responsibility for that story, that has to rest with the human editor. The human is the firewall. AI is the tool, never the gatekeeper. So what does this mean for journalists themselves? Well, it means it's time to upgrade the toolkit. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving in this new world. Things like data literacy, understanding the basics of how AI works, mastering new fact-checking techniques, and becoming an even better digital storyteller, these are the skills that are going to define the next generation of great reporters. Okay, so after weighing all the fears against all the incredible potential, where does that leave us? I think we're finally ready to answer that big question we started with. So, what's the verdict? After everything we've looked at, is AI a threat to journalism, or is it its greatest ally? The truth is, it's a tool. That's it. It's not inherently good or evil. It's just a tool, maybe the most powerful one a newsroom has ever been given. It becomes a threat when we use it to cut corners, to replace human judgment, to chase clicks over truth. But it becomes an incredible ally when we use it to empower journalists, to dig deeper, and to help all of us make sense of an incredibly complex world. Its impact depends entirely on the choices we make. And that really says it all, doesn't it? The future of journalism isn't going to be written by an algorithm. It's going to be shaped by the humans, the reporters and the editors who learn how to use these amazing new machines wisely, ethically, and with an unwavering commitment to the truth. In that future, journalism doesn't die.